And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, January 9th. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down a 6-game NBA slate. Spoiler alert for the rest of the week. We've got a fantastic week of games. We don't have any crazy double-digit games. We don't have any 2 and 3 game slates. We've just got the perfect week of basketball, and I cannot wait to break it down all week. We are here kicking it off today. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, it feels good to do this show. I am well rested. Great night's sleep. Wish I could have woke up to a couple of those red zone possessions for the Packers turning into touchdowns, but no big deal. No big deal. We're here to talk basketball. We got no football moving forward, which is great. On to the playoffs. I'm excited. I just want to talk basketball now. We are at sort of the peak of NBA. The rest of this month, for sure, all the way up until the All-Star break, it's going to be a good time. So for a couple weeks, we're at peak NBA, which means I just kind of want to start it off and break it down. Like that's where we're at right now, right? We want to dig into this bad boy. 6 games today. Let me see if I could. Do I still have my calendar open? I do. 6 games today, 7 tomorrow, 8 on Wednesday, 6 on Thursday, and 9 on Friday. You can't really ask for a better slate. Monday through Friday is just going to be good. So, good morning to everybody that's here. I want to get some coffee in me. I'm just downright thirsty for it. And I kind of just want to talk basketball. So, I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do as well. If you don't, if you got a tea, that's fine. If you got water, that's fine. I got my water here as well. I need to drink a little bit more of that if I'm being honest, feeling a little dehydrated. But it's time for coffee, and it's time to rise and grind, everybody. We're going to have a good one. I've got a good feeling about this week, so let's get into it here. Cheers, everybody. Let's get it started. I feel like I forgot to put something in my coffee. Can't figure out what it is. Still good, but now what? What are we going to do? Let's get into it. The New Orleans Pelicans are 1.5-point dogs in Washington. 228 total for New Orleans. They played on Saturday. That was without CJ as well. CJ should be playing for this one. That was the second half of the back-to-back on Saturday. No Brandon Ingram, no Zion, but we do have Larry Nance back. He played on Friday and then sat out again on Saturday. So I don't really have a huge set of changes that I want to make here. Rates can all stay the same for sure. I got Larry Nance in for 21 minutes. I got Joe Val in for 27. Feels like I should go 28-20 there, but this feels about right to me. Trey Murphy, maybe a little bit too high at 30 minutes, but I don't really want to take a starter too much lower than that. Najee Marshall has been playing probably a couple extra minutes. I'm going to take him up to 31. That's for sure. Alvarado probably could use a little bit of extra playing time. Jackson Hayes could actually take a little bit of a haircut. So I'm going to take Hayes down to 14. I'm going to get Alvarado up to 21. Oh, thanks, guys. My bad. Got into it too quick. How's that? You guys knew what I was doing. You guys knew the drill. 36 minutes for CJ. Kind of want to make that 35, honestly. Devontae Graham can be in for 14. And then 16 for Dyson Daniels. That's about as good as it's going to get as far as I could tell. Honestly, that might be too many minutes for Dyson Daniels. Nah, I mean, 21 to Alvarado. Maybe it should be 22 to Alvarado. Yeah. Here we go. All right, so New Orleans is done. I don't have any rates to change. I think we're okay there. So we'll go to the Washington side. Wizards, again, still no Bradley Beal. And then everybody else is available. What did they do over the weekend? So on Friday, I don't know. What happened on Friday to this team? So that would have been the 6th. Wizards got beat by 17 to OKC. So they did have weird rotations. Will Barton actually did see the floor in the first half because they were getting absolutely bludgeoned. So maybe that's why. 29 minutes for Monty Morris feels about right. 29 minutes for Corey Kispert feels about right. Taj didn't see the floor. We'll probably give some of this time to Will Barton, but I don't know. We'll see. Because Will Barton's time also came in the fourth quarter of the blowout. So I don't know how fond of playing him they're going to be. Porzingis in for 34. Make that 33. Gafford in for 27. That I do feel pretty good about. I could honestly be higher and I would feel okay. Rui in for 28 feels about right. Just have like 12 minutes hanging out in the ether. I guess Kuzma can get an extra minute. That one's easy. Got 29 for Denny. Probably need to bring that down to 28. And then I'm going to give 12 minutes to Will Barton. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think he's going to even be playing those minutes, but we'll see. And then rates I don't have to change. So game 1 in the books. Pretty quick. New Orleans Pelicans and Wizards. Now for the Wizards, I mean, Denny Avdia, if you think he's playing 28 minutes tonight, and, you know, this is a guy that played 27, 28, 29, 28 in the past 4 without Beal. I mean, to me, 28 seems about right. So I like the idea of going to Denny on DraftKings at 4,200. He's $1,000 more expensive on FanDuel, so that's not as interesting. I think Daniel Gafford at 4,700, very interesting. Rui, 4,700, very interesting. I think you could justify going to Kuzma on DK, but on FanDuel, where he's 7,500, it's even more interesting. Porzingis looks better on FanDuel than he does on DK. Unfortunately, there's a lot to like for Washington tonight. On the Pels side, with CJ back, I'd say CJ is probably your best option. 8,500 on DK, just point guard eligible, which is kind of awful, but that's fine. And then the rest of the Herb Jones, Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, I think all those guys look pretty similar. Trey Murphy looks a little bit better on FanDuel. You saw Najee Marshall's price jump up to $6K. You see Trey Murphy, though, stay at 4,500. Now, they are not all that dissimilar. Now, Najee Marshall's been playing a lot better than Trey Murphy, but on paper, they're not all that dissimilar from a fantasy perspective. So I like that value on Trey Murphy. Tough to want to go to Joe Val, but it's a 6-game slate, so he is certainly viable. That's where we're at for game 1. On to game number 2, the Chicago Bulls. 8.5-point dogs in Boston. 237 total, which is a little bit higher than I would have expected. Q-tag on Caruso, Q-tag on Javonte Green, no Lonzo Ball, no Tony Bradley. So I'm going to assume that we're just getting standard rotation here. We saw no Caruso in the back-to-back on Friday and Saturday, but I'm going to assume that he's playing today. At which point, I don't really have anything that I need to change for the Bulls rotation. I got Dosunmu in for 30, Levine for 37, DeMar for 38, Patrick Williams for 32, and then Nikola Vucevic in for 35. So Bulls just stay the same. We're able to keep that same rotation. What about Boston now? The Celtics, doubtful tag on Marcus Smart. That is an important piece of info. Smart only played 21 minutes on Saturday. So we're going to get Marcus Smart out of there. Which means we're going to get A bit more Derek White, you would expect at least. So let's go ahead and bump up Derek White. We definitely need to bump up Brogdon, that's for sure. How many games has Marcus Smart missed this season? So let's see. Boston did not play Marcus Smart. Smart has missed 4 games so far this year. And we're going to say in games that Malcolm Brogdon played, Derek White played. So those are the 2 big pieces here. All right. White played 84 minutes in the 3 games that they both played. That's 28 minutes. Brogdon played 80. That's 27 minutes. So I'm going to go 29 to White. 28 to Malcolm Brogdon. I think we get Peyton Pritchard in for a decent chunk of time. Robert Williams, I don't really want to take a jump on minutes, but he's going to start ramping up, you would think. I got Tatum in for 35. That feels about right. I got Jalen in for 34. That feels about right. Maybe that should be another notch higher, but I don't think that it should be. Grant Williams in for 24. I think he's just naturally going to play a little bit more too. Let's take Grant Williams up to 28. He's not the type of guy that like you're ultra worried about usually. Now I have 9 minutes left over. I could go to Sam Hauser. I could just bump all the starters. White, Brown, Tatum, Brogdon. Don't think that I want to do that. I'm going to go with the 14 minutes that I have in for Sam Hauser. We know that Peyton Pritchard's going to see the floor. I actually don't have a great feel about where these minutes go. Because 9 is a lot. But I don't want to give 9 additional minutes spread across all of the starters. That feels too aggressive, even though it's probably the most likely scenario. Although they are 8.5-point favorites. So I am just going to tuck those 9 minutes into like Luke Cornett or something. I assume Marcus Smart has very little to do with rates. She's not that kind of guy. So I'm going to leave this for Boston right now. And we already looked at Chicago. So for the Boston Celtics, $5,300 Malcolm Brogdon on DK would be my preferred option. He's $5,800 on FanDuel, which is a bit pricey. After that, though, Tatum, Brown, Horford, White, Grant Williams, Robert Williams, I think all these guys look really similar. They're all just sort of priced appropriately. 9K Jason Tatum, 9K Jaylen Brown on FanDuel is a little interesting to me. But I'm happy with this rotation. Part of me wants to give an extra minute to White, Brogdon, Brown, and Tatum, but I am not going to do that. So, I'm okay with Boston there. We'll see how they show up in a crunch. For Chicago, $7,500 Levine on DK is the best thing on the Bulls side. Any one of the starters are fine. DeRozan, Vooch, Patrick Williams, and Dosunmu. I think they all look pretty similar. I'd say $8,700 DeRozan on FanDuel is a price tag that I'd be happy to get to. Like, he's just a little bit more interesting to me than Jaylen Brown. Vooch is 8K, which is fine, but nothing too crazy. I like this game. If it can stay competitive, I like having a couple pieces of Boston and Chicago. Move to game number 3. That's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks 2-point favorites in New York, 222 total. That's kind of surprising to me. Wonder who's out. Chris Middleton still out 2 more games, which means that we should be getting the standard Milwaukee rotation we've had with no Middleton. These guys play. Oh my God. How many guys did they play on Friday? They played 14 dudes on Friday. Basically, at minimum 10 minutes, at most 23 minutes. What happened in Friday's game? Who did they bludgeon? Oh yeah, they got smacked by the Hornets. I forgot about that. Whew, that's brutal. Okay, I don't really have anything that I desperately want to change here. Joe Ingles seems to play like 20 minutes a game. Marshawn Beauchamp seems to play like 20 minutes a game. I really just don't have any sort of Milwaukee changes. I know their rotation. I know their rates. They're all in already. I forgot they got beat up by Charlotte in that one. On the Knicks side, Knicks have a doubtful tag on RJ Barrett. He has been out for a while. That also makes things kind of easy because we've seen the Knicks team play big minutes as of late. So with no RJ Barrett, we can keep it moving. Makes it a lot easier. But for the Knicks, I got 37 minutes in for Jalen Brunson. I feel good there. I got 37 minutes in for Quickly. I feel good there. 37 minutes in for Quentin Grimes. That works for me. They have, or at least they did not on Friday, go to Obi Toppin. I've got Randall in for 38 minutes. I feel good there. I've got Mitchell Robinson in for 28. I'm going to make that 29. In theory, I should make it 30, but I'm a little nervous about this spot. And I'll take one away from Jericho Sims, but I'm more than okay with this rotation right now. No Kobe White on Chicago. Not if Caruso plays. I mean, this Knicks team, we've been saying it for the past couple of games now. It doesn't change if Barrett maintains his being out. They're playing so many minutes. So like $6,200 Quickly is the guy that I want the most. Although, I guess I do want to make a tweak to Quickly's rates here quickly. Get it? All right. In games that Emmanuel Quickly is starting, I want to make a quick tweak to Quickly here. Quickly has started 7 games. He's played 287 minutes. He's got a 20% usage rate. Let's say did not play RJ Barrett. That's going to take one of those games away. That takes Quickly to 21% usage. Is the assist rate the problem here? Nope. What's he shooting? 56% true shooting for Quickly, 21% usage. Yeah, I don't really have any other changes that I want to make here. So Quickly to me is the guy that I would want the most on the DraftKings end and on the FanDuel end. I don't mind going to Brunson. He's probably second. Mitchell Robinson for 5,200 looks great if he's playing 30 minutes a game. I'm happy to go to Randall. Easier to get to on FanDuel because of the power forward center, but I just love getting to the Knicks starters. They look great. Milwaukee, on the other hand, does not look great. 12K for Giannis on DraftKings, 11.8 on FanDuel. Obviously, if you have the money, please pay up there. 7,400 for Drew on DK, 7,900 on FanDuel. It's just all about how many minutes you think he's going to play. 19 in his return on Tuesday, played 20 on Friday, but that was largely because they got smacked. I gave him 28 minutes. He's certainly a wild card on the slate if he happens to play like 30-something minutes. I just don't think that he will. But if he plays, like if you have Drew Holiday in for 34 minutes today, like his standard rotation, he's going to look incredible. So that's Milwaukee and the Knicks. Knicks look great. That just makes me want to eat Frosted Flakes. The San Antonio Spurs are 11 point. Oh, this is a bad slate. 8.5 point line on the Bulls game. 11 point line here for the Spurs again in Memphis. The Lakers are 9-point dogs in Denver. Yikes. Now, for San Antonio, Q tag on Keldon Johnson. That's honestly massive for what this slate ends up looking like. Keldon Johnson didn't play Saturday, definitely got injured on Friday. Knowing this information is going to be very, very, very important. What time is this game? 8 o'clock. Okay. Yeah. Keldon Johnson being in or out is going to be really tricky. All right. Now is the time where I finally have enough time where I have the interest in putting Stanley Johnson on the Spurs. I don't remember what team he was on before this. Utah, evidently. Oh, there we go. We get Stanley Johnson onto the Spurs now officially. So it matters to me. Man, if Keldon ends up out, there's just so much usage to go around on the San Antonio team. But for now, let's get these guys in. I got Trey Jones in for 28. Let's see. I'm going to make that 29. Malachi Branham is basically the backup. Was basically the straight backup. And then we get Romeo Langford as the starter. Played 29 minutes on Friday, 31 on Saturday. You know, that's just got to be 29 minutes. That lets me get Josh Richardson in for 24 still, I'm guessing. 25? Yeah, 25 is fine. Now, if Keldon plays, I'm going to leave him in here for these 32. We've got Jakob Poeltl in for 27. I feel fine there. Zach Collins in for 20. I feel fine there. 28 for Sohan. Feels good. McBuckets can get up to 20. That leaves me 11 additional minutes. They are going to go to Stanley Johnson. There we go. Hey, Stanley. Rates I don't have to change because they still have Keldon in. Now, if Keldon Johnson gets ruled out, I assume we probably get like Keita Bates Diop in playing starter minutes. Actually, who started on Saturday with Keldon Johnson out? Lost by 5 to Boston, and they started Keita Bates Diop. For some reason, had a terrible second quarter rotation and only played 2 minutes. Makes no sense. I don't know what they were doing there. Tank, thanks for hitting that thumbs up. I think everybody should hit that thumbs up. So we're going to leave Spurs as they are. This is going to be interesting. Memphis, on the other hand, what do we have for the Grizz? Are they on a back-to-back? They are, right? Okay. Whew. I was like, oh, all these Q tags. So Morant didn't play yesterday. Adams didn't play yesterday. I think that we should assume that Desmond Bane is not playing today. He's the only other guy that matters on back-to-backs. We still don't know the status on Brandon Clark, who didn't play, who's missed 4 straight. So what I'm going to do is take out Bane and leave Clark out. I'm going to put Ja Morant in along with Steven Adams. So we're going to go 28 minutes to Adams. And I'm going to go 19 to Tillman. That lets me get Jaren Jackson to 28. Gonna pop Ja Morant in for 33. Tyus gets the backup run. We're gonna get... I mean, Bane could play, right? But at the same time, in the past 10 days, he has sat out 2 back-to-backs. There seems like no reason to play Desmond Bane, unless other people are out. Seems like there's no reason to play Desmond Bane in a back-to-back at home as 11-point favorites against San Antonio. So I'm going to leave Desmond Bane out of my stuff for today. Which means when they did this on Thursday the 5th, we got Conchar in the starting lineup playing, like standard issue starter run. And then you get Dylan Brooks in for, your 31 minutes or something like that. So we'll go 31 to Brooks. I'm going to get John Conchar in for 24. We got to get Santi Aldama in backup 4 run. Aldama's been playing about 17 minutes a game. Give him 18 here. We got to give a bump up to Tyus Jones, who plays something in that 22 range. Get David Roddy in for his 17 minutes. That leaves me 20 additional minutes for Zaire Williams, Kennedy Chandler, somebody. Yeah, S&P. Triple J defensively is so good. I just really hate the Steven Adams fit. I mean, maybe that's why you just go to Brandon Clark in that kind of series in the playoffs like we saw last year. But look, they are one move away. And they have so much that they can do. I just don't know what that move would be. If Memphis could... could you somehow trade Brooks and a bunch of picks for, OG Anunoby? How good of a fit he would be in Memphis is just staggering. Something in that range where, you overpay to get a guy that is an unquestioned 35-minute-a-game playoff dude. I don't know. There's something there. All right. Zaire Williams. Give 16. I throw 4 random minutes to Kennedy Chandler. All right, so that'll work for me from a rates perspective. I assume they're going to pop. Yeah. So, if I'm right, and it is no Bane and everybody else, and no Clark and everybody else is in, I love Ja. 10-3 on DraftKings, 10-2 on FanDuel. I'm very happy to get to a $6,800 Jaren Jackson. I don't mind $6K Steven Adams. I don't mind $5,800 Dylan Brooks. I like getting to those 4 main Memphis dudes. Now for San Antonio, we have $5,900 Jakob Poeltl. Looks great. Let's see. I could go any direction on really the Keldon, Romeo, Trey Jones guys. Romeo Langford is a terrible per minute dude, but if he's starting, 3,700 on DraftKings is interesting. 4,500 on FanDuel is less so. Now, if Keldon Johnson ends up out, you're going to get a massive bump for Trey Jones. Someone is going to soak up a ton of usage somewhere. The Spurs will look really, really good, but at the same time, they will likely be pretty sizable dogs, even more so than the 11 we're showing. To the Lakers we go. I am so sick of talking about this team. It's insane. For the Lakers, what do we know? No Lonnie Walker, no AD, no Austin Reeves. LeBron is probable. Russ is probable. Troy Brown is questionable. Okay. I'm going to just start that rotation from scratch because it's the Lakers and they are confusing. So assuming we get Schroeder at the point, playing the 34 minutes he seems to play every night, maybe more. Uh, 9-point dogs, though. Yeah, I'll go 34. And then we get Pat Bev in for, 27? 28, maybe? I'll go 28. Obviously, Thomas Bryant goes in at the center spot for, 29? LeBron gets popped in there for 35. I mean, Toronto could actually pivot the opposite direction. You know, like, what if they wanted to trade, like, I'm just making stuff up, but like Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent and a bunch of picks for Trae Young or something. And then you pair Trae Young and Pascal Siakam with Anunoby. Like, they can go either direction. And that's what just makes them confusing. That also makes it so, like, you can really get a haul if you want to trade people. Like, if they wanted to just let it rip for somebody really good, like, that's out there. All right. Juan Toscano-Anderson, I'm guessing, is going to get playing time. So there's that. We need to get Wenyen Gabriel in for his, 17. Sterling Brown didn't really play. At least we know what this rotation looks like. The question then becomes, does Troy Brown play? Because if Troy Brown plays, he's probably going to start. I guess we got to get Russ in for his 29 or so. What do we do with Troy Brown? That is the real tricky question. 26 minutes? Something like that. And then Max Christie gets some sort of chunk of playing time. How about we go 24 minutes? So that's going to be, I'm going to go 12 and 12 to him and none. And this team is downright awful. Yeah, if I'm Toronto, I'm trying to trade VanVleet for whatever you can get. Because he would obviously fit a contender right now. And I don't think that his future is going to be great. So, all right, Denver. What do we know for the Nugs here against the Lakers? Should be at full strength. Yeah, only guy that's missing is Jeff Green, which means, they're going to look pretty darn good. I'm going to get Murray in for 34 minutes. I got Bones in for 21. I got Jokic in for 35. Najee back up. MPJ in for 30. Chanchar back up. Aaron Gordon in for 33. Bruce Brown in for 24. I mean, this is just an easy team to project. Do I want to go to a little bit? No, I don't. Yeah, I think all of this looks good. Yeah, Dr. DFS. There's no way that the Bucks can get Fred VanVleet. That's not possible. All right, for Denver. Okay, 11-7. I mean, this is what happens when you get to play the Lakers. Nikola Jokic looks great at 11-7 on DraftKings and 11-4 on FanDuel. And I think Jamal Murray is super sneaky at 6,800 on DK. Amazing spot here against the Lakers. 240 total in this game. I'd be happy to get to Aaron Gordon. I think $5,500 MPJ looks pretty good on FanDuel. It's hard to not want to get to Denver because of facing the Lakers. For the Lakers, Thomas Bryant, probably the best option. Schroeder for 5,700 would probably be my number 2. If you want to get to LeBron, that's fine, but I think he's going to look worse than Ja. He's going to look worse than Jokic. You know, you got the Boston guys out there. Don't love LeBron. But we'll see. Final game. Man, we are cruising. Guys, it is 7:07. I've done 5 games. This is what happens when teams aren't on back-to-backs and there's no rotational changes. Like, we haven't really needed to dig into anything major here. Late night hammer, Orlando Magic, 6-point dogs in Sacramento. No Bol, no John Isaac, no Chuma Okeke. I'm just going to start this rotation from scratch because I just don't remember the last thing that I saw for Orlando. So, for the Magic, I assume we get Fultz in that starting lineup, playing his, 29 minutes a game? And then I'll give, we'll go to the next spot. Gary Harris, I assume is going to play 25 minutes a game. We get Franz Wagner in for 34. We get Paolo Banchero in for 34. We get Wendell Carter Jr. in for 30. We'll say that Mo Wagner backs up Wendell Carter Jr. We need to get Cole Anthony in for a decent chunk of time. Suggs needs minutes. I go 17 to Suggs. I'm going to go 24 to Cole Anthony. Who am I missing? Terrence Ross needs playing time. Okay. Ross can go ahead and get his 18. Larry, I am cruising through this slate. I have 11 minutes left over for somebody random. Probably go, I don't know, Admiral Schofield or something. I don't think it really matters. Is Bamba back? Oh, Mo Bamba's back. All right, if Bamba is available, did he just get a DMP CD on Saturday? Box score, Magic 117-23. I assume he just got it. A DMP CD. Yep, he did. Okay. I don't know what to do with this final 11 minutes. Do I think Mo Wagner plays any additional playing time? I don't really. Yeah, I'm just going to placehold them on Admiral Schofield for now. I don't have a great feel for where they go. Don't think it matters either. Rates all stay the same. So that's Orlando. They should look good against Sacramento, but we'll see. For the Kings, Malik Monk available. I know they signed PJ Dozier to a 10-day. Everybody's available for the Kings, so this should be simple. You know, we had no Monk on Saturday. Hopefully that allowed him to at least get a little bit more correct. We've got De'Aaron Fox in for 35 minutes. Make that 36. I got Herter in for 30. 31. Got Harrison Barnes in for 31. I got to make that 32. Keegan Murray in for 28 makes sense. Sabonis in for 36 makes sense. Holmes gets the backup run. Trey Lyles gets some backup run. I got Monk in for 23 minutes. That is going to have to work. I'm actually going to make that 22. Leaves me 8 additional minutes. I'm just going to put those on Terrence Davis. And that'll be the Kings. Man, we are done this slate. Sacramento, 8,700 for De'Aaron Fox. Looks pretty good to me. 8,900 on FanDuel works. I think you can pay up for Domantas Sabonis. He'll look pretty similar to Julius Randle. Barnes, Herter, Murray, Monk, all in play, but no real priorities. And then for Orlando, they don't look good on DK. Best option is going to be Wendell Carter Jr. I would argue that no one looks good. Franz Wagner on FanDuel for 6,600 is on a different tier here, as is $7,900 Banchero and $6,300 Wendell Carter Jr. with power forward eligibility. So, time to run some crunchies, folks. Let's do it. There we go. FanDuel Optimals. Man, we zipped through this slate. See what happens when I get like a good night's sleep and my brain just works to start the day? All right, FanDuel Optimals. We have $313.09. This is the optimal by 0.59. Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickley, Franz Wagner, DeMar DeRozan, MPJ, Trey Murphy, Wendell Carter Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr., and I think that was Jakob Poeltl, but I'm a moron and accidentally used a mouse gesture and lost it. So let's try that again. Yeah, it was Jakob Poeltl. Okay, so we don't know. Like, I don't have anything crazy to think about for that one. That all looks good to me. If you want to swap out Jaren Jackson for Kyle Kuzma, by all means. Power rankings. What do we have on the power rankings? No, that's not what I wanted to look at. All right, power rankings. Pretty clearly, Emmanuel Quickley is the number one contender for today. Then it starts to bunch up. Trey Murphy, Jalen Brunson, Franz Wagner, Quentin Grimes round out the rest of my top 5. Trey Jones, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Kuzma, DeMar DeRozan, and MPJ round out the bottom of the top 10. SMP, Darko feels a little bit differently on Fox's three-point shooting. I'll pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it. But pretty good trend upward, actually, for this season after cratering midway through last year. This is the career rate. If we look at just this season, had that rough. Well, those are 2 DNPs. I mean, look, it's not good because he's like a 34% 3-point shooter, and that's really the true problem. But if he can get to like 35 and just stabilize there, that'll be helpful. Anyway, I always like looking at stuff like that. All right, on to DraftKings before we get out of here. Great start to the week, folks. You get me on the strategy show for today. You do not get me on the Deeper Dive or Live Before Lock, however. I will be around, though. Wife out of town in San Francisco, which means I got nothing to do but play DFS all week. It's going to be a good time. All right, optimal lineups on DraftKings. $285.86. That is the optimal by 1.02. So starting to get a little separation here. Jalen Brunson, Malcolm Brogdon, Denny, Rui, Gafford, which would scare me, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jakob Poeltl. It's 1.02 gap. Interesting. Now, power rankings. Looking like it's going to be quickly here at the top. Same as FanDuel. I can't really disagree with that. Although, yeah, I mean, look, 6,200. The price is obviously up, but so are the minutes. Wasn't a great one here against Toronto, though. All right. Emmanuel quickly is the pretty clear number one guy. Denny Avdia, Malcolm Brogdon, Quentin Grimes, Zach LaVine are the top five. Jamal Murray, Jaren Jackson, Rui, De'Aaron Fox, and Steven Adams round out the rest of the top 10. Yeah, it's looking like an Emmanuel Quickly day. That's always fun. I will probably make slight tweaks to bring Denny down because I don't want to get to any one individual one of these Wizards guys. So that's DraftKings. FanDuel's in the books. Guys, we are done. 6-game slate in 50 minutes. We'll call it 45 of like actual work. What is the deal? That never happens. Never happens. Oh, before we go, let's talk a little bit about BetMGM, sponsor of this show. You can get 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum, along with a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. So long as you follow the link in the description. You got to be new to BetMGM. You got to be in a legal betting state. Take your shot here, guys. Make a pretty sizable deposit because your first bet is risk-free up to $1,000. Put down as much as you can on that first game. If it wins, you just move forward with all that money in your account. If it loses, they will credit that back to you in free bets. It's a no-risk situation, and you get behind our paywall for 2 months. That's going to be projections, ownership, boom, bust. Anything that you could possibly ever hear us talk about will be behind that paywall. So come check it out, everybody. Another one in the books, folks. We're here all week. We've got an easy, balanced schedule all week. We don't have any crazy, I got to sit at the desk for 2.5 hours because there's 14 games on the slate. We got a good one this week. So keep your eyes peeled for contenders later today, or I don't know, in an hour. And strategy show, 10 a.m. with Adam. We'll be breaking down this whole slate. Should be a fun one to break down. Intricacies are a little bit different. Good luck, everybody. It's been nice being here. This was The Process.